Hi, this is AJ. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new episode of my complete TV series on DVD and Blu-ray. Yes, this is episode 5. Okay, so first up, we have the complete first season of Highlander, the TV series, a US import. This is.
He is Duncan MacLeod, the Highlander. Born in 1592 in the Highlands of Scotland, and he is still alive. He is immortal. For 400 years, he's been a warrior, a lover, a wanderer.
Yes, it's a lot of discs, very thick, and they're all like this. Let me show you. That's season 1. Then we have season 2. They're all in this sort of a, you know, and they just open up about a mile long. I won't open them all up, but they're all pretty much of the same ilk, like that. That's season 2. I'll tell you my thoughts about it once I get through these. Season 3. Adrian Paul stars as Duncan MacLeod. Season 4. Season 5. Got a bit thinner with season 5. And then the final season, season 6. Yes, now, I love this series. I really did. When it first began with season 1, I wasn't too into it. It wasn't very good. It was sort of like Immortal of the Week and this sort of a thing, you know. Yes, it weren't that great. That being said, when it stepped into season 2, this show came alive. It was a lot darker. It was a lot more brutal. It you know, it delved into the history of the Immortals, and it worked. What they'd done worked. And, you know, the Watchers, this organisation that would keep an eye on them and recorded them throughout history and all this stuff. It was just fantastic. And, you know, yes, Highlander is a one-and-done film, but as a franchise, this done its own thing. This, you know, the end of Highlander, the film, never happened with this series. And it just became a really strong series. And what was great about it is that you never knew if any cast member was actually going to survive, because they would kill cast members off left, right and centre, and it was just fabulous. A really good time I had with it. Adrian Paul was superb. Obviously he got the chance to return as Duncan MacLeod in the movie Endgame and Highlander the Source, which was a rubbish film. But Endgame was... it's not a very good film, but it was a nice send-off, and nice to have him and Conor MacLeod come together again, because Christopher Lambert is in the very first episode, but he looks more like Farmer Giles or something. But it was nice to have them come together again, and I don't mind the film. I appreciate that it's not very good, but I don't mind it. Next up is a spin-off series that only lasted one series, starring an actress called Elizabeth Grayson, and that is Highlander the Raven. Yes, she was a character that was in the series throughout its run. They spun her off into her own series. There was talk of it because in season 6 they introduced several female characters in episodes, and they were sort of trialling them to see who they wanted to spin off into a series. Claudia Christian being one of them, who was one of the main stars of Babylon 5. She was in it as one of these characters for the potential spin-off, but ultimately it went to Elizabeth Grayson, who was a sort of Highlander alumni from the series, shall we say. And yeah, and credit to Adrian Paul. He knew his stuff. He knew the history for this character that he played. He had it all mapped out. He knew he could tell you where the character was in any given year. He was into the role like that. He was, you know, and hats off to him. He was very good. Prior to this, he had starred in the War of the Worlds TV series that I showed in my last episode, which came before this. He'd made it before going on to do Highlander. So there we go. So, moving on, I have season 1 of Due South. Paul Gross starring as Benton Fraser, the Canadian Mountie in Chicago. And again, this I love this series. The dog, Diefenbaker, the dog's name was in it. Leslie Nielsen starred in some episodes. Was kind of a tongue-in-cheek police procedural. Canadian mountain man out of, you know, a man out of his comfort zone, so to speak. Fish out of water kind of story. And it was great, due south. I remember this series so well. And I loved it, so much so I even have a big box set of it as well, which is another version, because these are US versions, and I was sort of worried. I don't know, I got a big box set quite cheap because I was worried, what happens if I do lose a player, you know, and I can't play region, multi-region, all this sort of thing. But anyway, that's that. Now, interestingly enough, this is season 1, but it hasn't got the pilot episode on there. For some reason, obscure reason, the pilot episode ended on being put onto the third season, a third season disc. Very, very strange, but a great series. It really was. Yes, they had a cast change from season 3, I believe it was, and yeah, but it was just a very, very fun series, a good series. Now another series here, starring Yancy Butler. She was the mother in Kick-Ass, actually, and Witchblade. I say the mother of the bad guy. Now, Witchblade is actually based on a comic book from Image Comics, created by a creator called Michael Turner. Yes, this is the complete series of it. Quite different from the comic character. I'll put an image up of the comic character. Yes, but in this it was like a gauntlet, and yeah, you know, one season it lasted, but it was an animated series as well. Next up, we have Elementary, season 1, season 2, season 3, and season 4. Now, this is a series that went on a lot longer than that, maybe 8 seasons or something, and I need to pick up the other series of it. Johnny Lee Miller was very good in the role of Sherlock Holmes, a sort of modern-day Sherlock Holmes. This came out at about the same time as our Sherlock did, you know, with Benedict Cumberbatch, and even me, I was like, oh, an Americanised version. But when I watched it, I really liked Johnny Lee Miller's performance in it, and it's a fun series. Again, it's a fun series. It's different, you know. I had no issue with it whatsoever. Now, another series from like the sort of 90s era, I suppose, starring, I forget her name, Tia Carrera. Don't know if you know the actress, but here she is in a TV series called Relic Hunter, which is a bit like a Tomb Raider-esque type of vibe to it. Yeah, I had fun with it. That was season 1, and I had season 2 there. Complete season 2. And the complete season 3 of Relic Hunter. Obviously, these were imported from, I think these are Australian releases, these latter ones. We got the UK, we had the, you know, region 1, but I don't believe we got the others. Season 1, sorry, but I don't believe we got the others. So I imported from the United States at some point. Then moving on to probably the oldest TV series that I have. Truly the oldest TV series that I have. And that is The Phil Silver Show, Sergeant Bilko. I loved it. My dad used to watch it as a kid. So my dad used to watch it when I was a kid. And I remember it, and I used to enjoy it. I liked Phil Silvers. I thought he was great in it. So it just brings back great memories of that sort of era. And I enjoy watching these. They're a lot of fun. They really are. Moving on. Next up, another groundbreaking series that back in the day was, yes, everyone was watching. And that is the Jack Bauer Hour. 24 for Kiefer Sutherland. The show that was set in real time. Yeah, what can I say about this show? It was great. I mean, some seasons were better than other seasons, but it gripped you. It truly did. The programme did have its flaws. The geography of stuff and how long it takes him to get from one place to another. The fact that he obviously didn't sleep. Did he ever stop for a bathroom break? He must have done that in our breaks. And he was kind of invincible himself. But, you know, it was a good series. Tony Alametto. Is that his name? Tony Alametto or something. But it was a great series. What's she from? I recognise her now. Yeah. Season 5, that was seasons 1 to 4 before. Season 5, these are thick boxes though. And then we had 24 Redemption, because it broke for a year. Was that because of the writer's strike? Was that around 2008? I don't know. A sort of film version. This was just to sort of fill in a break that it had. And then we were back at it with season 6. And this is one of Kiefer Sutherland's most iconic characters that he has ever played, along with David in Lost Boys. So obviously we went from DVD, then they started releasing on Blu-ray. That is season 7. And then we had season 8, which is the final season. Purportedly at the time it was the final season. But then the show came back for a limited series, about 12 episodes of 24 Live Another Day, which was set in London, I believe, for the most part. Yeah, it was all right. It tried to recapture, but they bottled out of giving it a proper ending again. So Jack Bauer could still come back out there. And then they'd done a spin-off series called 24 Legacy, season 1, which was, you know, a 12 episode thing. And this is a guy from The Walking Dead. Walking Dead we will see on a later episode. But his character was not killed off in The Walking Dead. He kind of vanished. And we've never got a answer to his vanishing. Will we ever? I don't know. But anyway, Tony Almeida was back again in it. Yeah, so 24. Now, we are coming to a close shortly. This is my last batch that I've got in front of me now. And quicker episode, this one, because a lot of them are like thicker boxes. They don't take up as much space in the sense of I can get so many. Like one season is quite thick, so it's quick to get through, if you see what I mean. They take up a lot of space, but to get through it's easier because there's not so many because of the space that they take up, which is what I meant. Now, I know last week I showed Futurama, or 2 weeks ago, I showed Futurama. I had the complete box set and I had 2 TV films. There were 2 others that were done, and I have them here. Still sealed, Bender's Big Score, and The Beast with a Billion Backs. I believe what had happened was the Futurama was cancelled, came back with some films, then came back as a continuing series again, if I recall. I never really watched them on TV. But anyway, so moving on now. Okay, first up, we have another great series, and they're all out of order. So let me get them in order. Okay, so here we go. Season 1 of The Shield. Yeah, this was a great series as well. Just fantastic, it really was. What can I say? It was a great series. Season 1, season 2. 3, 4, Glenn Close there. Season 5. Yes, Michael Chiklis, who went on to be in the Fantastic Four as Ben Grimm, the Thing. Season 6. And then season 7, final season of The Shield. 7 years. Great series. Again, another series that kept you watching. It really did. Now, stepping into a bit of sci-fi and Gene Roddenberry. No, not Star Trek. We're talking about Earth Final Conflict. And this is season 1. It's the only season that I've got. I believe it probably was the only season that had a UK release. I believe they had releases in other territories, but I'm not sure where. Playback, classic and cult TV. Let's have a quick look in there. See what they've got. Oh, Miami Vice there. Columbo. Battlestar Galactica, Quantum Leap, Buck Rogers and Sliders. Sliders I haven't got. Wasn't that into it. The Knight Rider, Airwolf and Magnum. We may come into a couple of them at some point in another episode. $6 Billion Man and the A-Team there. Citizen Smith, Power to the People, Wolfie Smith. Hello, hello. This is our English stuff. Moonlight in there, which I've already shown. Monsters and stuff. Comedy, drama. David Jason, A Touch of Frost. Columbo, Cagney and Lacey, crime drama. Las Vegas, Law and Order there. And some other bits, including a limited edition numbered box of Xena Warrior Princess, like that. Anyone got that? I've got the Xenas, I showed them, but not like that. Well, there's a receipt in here. Virgin Megastores receipt for this Earth Final Conflict. Camden, a Virgin Megastore Croydon this was. Supporting Virgin Megastore in Croydon. £17. And it was bought on the 3rd of the 6th, 2007. 3rd of the 6th, 2007. There we go. All 22 episodes of the complete first season of Earth Final Conflict. We'll step back into the past there with that receipt. Nice. So next up, before he became James Bond, and the show that stopped him becoming James Bond before Timothy Dalton, and that was Remington Steele. We only got the first season here in the UK, and this is it. Yes. Pierce Brosnan, Stephanie Zimbalist. Before he was Bond, he was Remington Steele. Weren't a bad series. Sort of that ilk. It ran at moonlighting time. And then we have here the complete first season of Shades of Blue, which I didn't mind at all. I haven't got the 3rd season. Season 2, Ray Liotta, the late Ray Liotta now. So he passed away. Did they ever do season 3? I'll have to have a look at that one. And then we have a DC TV series, the complete series of Birds of Prey. Yes, Birds of Prey had a TV series back in the day. And it starred Dina Meyer, who you may know from Starship Troopers. Harley Quinzel is in it. There is a Harley Quinn in it. You do see the Joker, and you briefly see Batman in the opening scene, because it's after Batman. Yeah, wow. Batgirl. Yeah, just about make her out. That would have been Dina Meyer, who was Batgirl. But she became Oracle because she was paralysed and in a wheelchair. So yeah, Birds of Prey. Complete first season, well, complete only season. Bonus, it's got the bonus unaired pilot episode on it. And Gotham Girls, the complete series. All 30 episodes of the animated web-based series featuring the female heroes and rogues from Gotham City. Yeah, 13 episodes. Batman's little girl is all grown up. Now on to my last. And I've left this last for a reason, right? Because one of the very first VHSs I ever owned as a child was the pilot episode to this series. So this series brings back a lot of memories, not only because for that reason, but it was actually filmed around where I used to live, in sort of the Dulwich area of London, and I knew exactly where the main female star's house was. I don't mean her house. I mean the external of the building that played her house in the show. They filmed one day at the very end of my street, and my brother disrupted filming for them kindly, because you could literally look out the window of our place and they were probably about 50 metres, if that, away filming. Yeah, so there we go. He actually disrupted filming, I believe, by firing a blank firing gun out the window, so you had the loud bang to interrupt filming. But there you go, my brother, not me. And that show it stars Michael Brandon, Glynis Barber and Ray Smith. Do you know what it is? Dempsey and Makepeace. Great series, it really was. I loved it. I loved Dempsey and Makepeace. That was season 1, and then we have the complete second season there. There's a CEX voucher, or CEX receipt inside. Let's see when I bought this. It wasn't that long ago that I picked these up. Okay, there's my card receipt as well. So I bought this in CEX in Croydon. Yeah. Paid £12 for it for that season 2. And I bought this on the 7th of the 9th, 2017. Yes. There we go. At 3:09 PM in the afternoon. So that's it, season 2, yeah. And then obviously we have the complete third season, which was its final season, I believe. It lasted for 3 years, 3 seasons, 3 series, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, these two got married in real life. Glynis Barber was also in Blake 7. I did have a signed autograph of her when I was younger because of the filming in the area. Photo of her signed. Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to that, what came of it, but I was a young lad. But she was gorgeous. What can I say? She was a very, very pretty woman. That's it. That's it for that shelf. So, again, 2 weeks' time, I'll be back for... So I've done that shelf, done that shelf, done that shelf, done that... Have I done them all? I've got 1 shelf to do up there. 1 more shelf. Yes. Yeah, 6 shelves. This is episode 5, so I've got 1 more shelf to do. And then I'll be on to other bits and pieces that are around the place, because I've got a whole shelf of DC stuff and the Marvel stuff and all that. With other bits in a different place than that TV bookcase. So there we go. So hit the subscribe button, come join the channel. Let me know if you've seen any of these, if these have brought back memories or anything like that. It's great looking through them, just, you know, good memories of stuff all round. Yeah, sort of like a look into the past. And I like doing this because a lot of these are hidden because they're too deep. And when you look at them again, you bring back memories that you've forgotten, don't you? It's great. Fantastic. Anyway, so I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and